You guys have done the anime cafe with Emily, right?
Yes.
How did it feel seeing the anime, the demographic of the anime that you had watched in real life? Because I went to the Bocce the Rock cafe and seeing average,
I can already see the demographic.
seeing average Bocce the Rock fans was interesting, to say the least.
Break it down. What's the demographic?
Demographic guy.
So I'm like, Bocce the Rock, right? What can I garner from this fan base? Probably they're gonna be. I was guessing they're gonna be probably about my age. I was wrong. They were quite a bit older. We go in line. Everyone is in business suits. I thought that we were lining up for a fucking Katakawa meeting or something. I'm like, Emily, have you gone to the right place? We're not going to a Geeks Plus meeting, all right? Are we? And no, everyone was lining up for this Bocce the Rock cafe.
In like 50s?
In like 40s and 50s.
That awfully sounds a lot like the K-On demographic. I wonder why.
I thought there would be a few more girls there. I don't know. And there were only like, aside from Emily, there were only two other girls there that
Emily posted a tweet of the picture of the food. Put it on screen, Mudan. It looked fucking vile.
Yeah.
It was
It
shit.
looked vile.
I don't know why. Of course,
she vomit on that omelet? Like,
Yeah.
why does it look like that?
I saw that, and I'm not the biggest fan of omurice anyway, because I don't like ketchup, and they poured ketchup on over it. But somehow they made it look even more disgusting by just felt like a unicorn vomited on it, and they were like, "That's the dish. That's the dish, guys.
Look, it's the pink bocce. It's bocce's color.
It's bocce, but it's melted. It's bocce the Rock." And of course, that one dish we liked to eat there. You had to buy a set meal that costed like $40. That included, and that was like one of two food items. That was like the savory food item. I got like there was a chicken curry, which has nothing to do with Bocce the Rock.
Just easy to make, isn't
Yeah,
it?
but it had Ryo's face on it, so I'm like, oh, I guess this is Bocce themed. Ironically enough, like that pink vomit omurice was the only real Bocce themed dish on there. But I was more interested in just looking around and seeing the kind of, it was interesting going to a theme cafe and seeing the actual people who watched the anime, the same anime you watched, right?
Yeah.
Because I was asking Emily, what was the cafe that had the most female like demographic, that had the most female viewers go to that theme cafe? Do you know what it was?
Let me guess. Some kind of like either like BL one or something with like cute boys, right?
It was Berserk. The Berserk.
Based Japan.
The Berserk
Based.
theme cafe. She told me had the highest
fuck?
ratio of girls to guys in that cafe.
God damn.
And I'm like, kind of based actually.
See, weebs, this is another reason why you should come to Japan. If you want to find a wife, then
Go to the Berserk Cafe.
Go to the Berserk Cafe.
You'll have something in common. What can I say? Yeah, because you ain't finding any girls in like the Bocce the Rock cafe, or I'm guessing like most cute. Because I was surprised that the demographic was like that old, you know.
Yeah,
I'm not.
When I went to the
I'm not surprised.
when I went to the Nichijou Cafe with Emily, that also had quite a few girls there as well, which was also surprising. And I was like,
Okay.
yeah, because I thought there'd be a lot more boys. I don't know. I never really thought about like the Nichijou demographic, I guess, because
Yeah.
that's kind of like open for everyone. The one that was hilarious though was the Weathering with You Cafe. There was no one there, so that describes the demographic of that.
Well, that describes that demographic.
Yeah, that describes that
I'm not really
demographic.
surprised about that. You know.
I think it was literally just Aki and I, and we're just like, oh, all right, let's just order something and get the fuck out.
Oh, God.
Yeah, it was sad.
Yeah,
I still haven't been to a collab cafe that does good food yet. I'll let you guys know.
I think the Nichijou Cafe for me was probably the best one.
It was good food, though.
Like, the food was decent. What I appreciate
It's
about
always decent. It's always
yeah,
decent.
the one
It's
I
never
appreciate
good.
about the Nichijou Cafe is that all the items were actual references to the show, and they did them
Yeah,
in
you said
really
this
funny
prior.
ways.
I
think when it comes to themed cafes, the best food I've had is probably the Kirby Cafe.
I just want to go to a place where I get as good food as something like another good cafe or restaurant.
I
Otherwise, I'm like,
don't think you're going to.
otherwise, I'm like, fuck this then. I'd rather just look at pictures because what's the fucking point?
I think maybe then the Kirby Cafe might be good because like that's a permanent store.
Yeah, I'm
so
not a big fan of Kirby though. I'm kind of. I know you look sad there for a second. I'm like, I don't give a fuck.
So you're not a fan of happiness, I see.
I don't give a fuck, dude. Kirby's boring as fuck.
How fucking dare you?
I gotta agree with
How
Connor here.
fucking dare you?
What the fuck does Kirby do other than just eat shit, which I can relate to? But he's just like, come on, man, do something.
He's just a cute little fucking pink ball. Like, anytime when I was a kid and I felt really
Beta
fucking
Jigglypuff.
sad or angry or, you know, just had negative emotions, I would just play a Kirby game, depression gone.
I played a
Literally.
Kirby game as a kid, and I was like, why does this shit suck so much?
Oh my god. You're just not a gamer,
I played
bro.
one of the DS games, I can't remember which one it was, and it was just, I was like, god damn, this is like worse than every other platformer I've played.
Kirby fans are just the Bocce the Rock fans of the video game industry. They're just like, oh, look, cute pink thing doing things. Oh.
Fuck, is that how it feels
Oh,
like?
serotonin. Oh.
I take Kirby over Bocce any day, bro.
Like, Kirby as a character, I think is aight, but
Yeah.
every game I
But you're
played,
not a Nintendo fan.
I am. I love Nintendo.
What's your favorite Nintendo franchise?
Okay, what counts as being a Nintendo fan, right? Because I would say I'm a Nintendo fan, even though I don't know if I am a Nintendo fan. I like Nintendo stuff.
Mario franchise is probably the best one, let's be real.
Yeah, but that's anyone that breathes at this point.
Yeah,
like,
but I mean, it's like, it's the best. Like, when I think about Pokemon, I'm like, there's too many misses. I think about other games, like, if someone says like F-Zero, I'm like, fuck off. You're lying.
Yeah.
You've had this one. Like,
that's the pretentious Nintendo
yeah, I'm like,
fan
there's two
speak,
games, you haven't played it. If someone
Yeah.
tells me like Earthbound, I'm like, are you okay?
Hey, I like Earthbound.
Yeah, but if it's your favorite, I'm like, are you good?
Oh, no, it's not my... It's up there, but it's not my
Are you
favorite.
okay?
All right,
Sounds
let's-
like Zelda, I'm like, understandable.
No, Zelda's
Right?
probably the best.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
my
yeah.
opinion.
understandable.
Yeah, Zelda's the best.
Okay, let's gatekeep Nintendo for a second.
Okay.
Let's gatekeep Nintendo fans. What makes? At which point does someone become a true Nintendo fan versus just here's some shit I played as a kid? You know.
I think... Okay, this is just my definition of it from how I see it, but like I think it's one of those things where it's like it's been with you all your life and you're still heavily involved in it. Right? Because it's like, you know, there's a lot of games that people like, you know, a lot of people, especially in our age group, right, grew up playing Nintendo games, right?
Yeah.
It was you were either like Team Sony or you were Team Nintendo or Team Sega, right? Like that was the three genders. And like, I feel like Nintendo fans, like I classify myself as a Nintendo fan because I never touched any of like the Sony stuff. I never owned a Sony console.
Faithful.
Yeah, I was faithful. I only had Nintendo consoles growing up. So it's like, I played Nintendo games all my life. Nintendo games are still like the main games that I play to this day as well. So like, I would say I'm a Nintendo fan, all right?
Just a game fan. I like good games. And
Yeah,
Nintendo have a lot of good
and that's
games.
fine. Yeah, like there's a lot of other games I like as well, but I think at the end of the day, I always go back to playing Nintendo games.
Like I was always the Nintendo kid. Like up to the
I am the Nintendo kid.
I am the
Referred
Nintendo
to me
kid.
as kind of the Nintendo.
You should put that in your Twitter bio.
Yeah, the Nintendo kid.
I'm
Kid. Actually,
the Nintendo
everyone
kid.
was like, "Are you playing Sonic?" And I'm like, "Oh, like I would ever buy a Sega Mega Drive." Are you playing Metal Gear Solid? Oh, what is that? A PlayStation? Is that available on GameCube? Which Twin Snakes was actually available on the GameCube.
Yeah, it was. Good game.
But yeah, up to the GameCube, I owned nothing and I played nothing but Nintendo games. Whenever someone talks about their nostalgia with Tony Hawk's or some shit like that, I'm like, I don't get that. I went to my cousin and he
You
had
have a
Tony
PS2?
Hawk.
I didn't have a PS2.
I did
Bro,
not
they were
have,
like giving those away. PS2's like $10.
Nah,
I did not have I did not have a PS2. I was like, I had this like weird like loyalty to Nintendo. I was like, no matter what, no matter what all the other kids are playing, I refuse to play anything but the GameCube. And then I became a gamer and got an Xbox 360, and then I was like, oh, good games are on other platforms as well.
But like, I mean, we had a PS2, and I just remember the one thing about it was that like we used to just get so many pirated games, and it made it so much cheaper to play on PlayStation 2.
Right.
Because Nintendo, you know, they were always full price till the GameCube kind of like tanked, and then they were like, okay, maybe we got to do a few sales. But yeah, the PS2 games, you could just get them super easily. Well, I'm pretty sure my dad got like half of them from like the pub.
Yeah.
He would just go, and some guy would just give out CDs.
He was doing PlayStation drug deals at the pub.
I think there was just a guy who's like, yeah, if you want PS2 games, let me know.
Need for Speed 2.
And I guess you just give him a tenner and he just hand over like 50 games.
Yeah.
Goddamn.
And you're like, oh, okay.
Yeah. I think, yeah.
I don't know.
Like, look, no one has the right to like fucking determine like, oh, you're a Nintendo fan, you're not a Nintendo fan. It's like fucking whatever, right? But like, you know, I think there's nothing wrong with like, you know, like in your situation where it's like you grew up playing Nintendo games and then you discovered other games, right? And you're playing that, right?
Yeah.
But I think, I don't know, somewhere deep inside of me, there's still a part of me that's just like, I will always go back to playing a Nintendo game.
But I find that really interesting because I feel like Nintendo, like, I totally get where you're coming from because I feel like Nintendo's the only, let's say, gaming brand that has that kind of brand loyalty to them. Because, you know, back in the day when there was the console war, you would have people like, you know, the Xbox kid, fucking Sony fans as well. But nowadays, it's just like hardcore. There's hardcore Nintendo fans, and then there are gamers.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
just like there are Idol fans and music fans.
Yeah, there's like
exactly the same.
No one with a PS5 is going like, oh, I'm a fucking PlayStation fan, man. I bleed Sony. I bleed PlayStation. No one does that.
I mean, during like the Wii U era, it felt like Nintendo was kind of a joke.
I mean, they were.
And everyone was kind of like, fucking, Nintendo's a little baby.
Nintendo fell off.
They did.
They fall off.
Fucking fell off, and then the Switch
and then they came back with the Switch. Baby.
Yeah. So it's.
I think the loyalty will probably only keep up as long as they keep making good games and consoles.
Oh, of course.
Yeah. And they still make great games, but I have no loyalty to their games like I used to, and I feel like some people will play Nintendo
you shouldn't
games.
Be loyal to a company that doesn't care about you, guys.
Yeah, yeah, but like we've talked about Pokemon before, but you know, people are fucking loyal to Pokemon, even though comparatively to the other franchises like Mario and Zelda, I feel like Pokemon games are a lot worse designed and a lot worse games. Than,
I've still played every single one.
But that's the point. That's the point, right? I'm like, when a new Mario comes out, when a new Zelda comes out, I'm playing it because it's gonna be a banger game.
Yeah.
When a new Pokemon comes out, I'm like, this is a 50-50 right now about whether this will actually be a good game or not.
I mean, you know, in saying that, I haven't enjoyed every single Pokemon game. There's been some real fucking boring and shit ones as well.
A lot of stinkers.
Yeah, but like, you know, at the end of the day, whenever there's a new Pokemon game announced, I'm gonna be playing it because I'm just like, I'm like this far in, I might as well fucking see it till the end, right?
Yeah.
Like I can't.
That's a horrible mentality.
It's well, you know, like I also am just like genuinely curious to see, like, okay, you know, I've literally grown up with this franchise my entire life. Like some of my most fondest gaming memories when I was a kid was playing fucking Pokemon Gold and Silver on my Game Boy, right? Like that shit is like.
But how far can nostalgia go?
Well, that's the thing, right? And so like, you know, with the newest game, for example, I was like, I saw a lot of merits in it, but I also saw a shit ton of flaws in it like everybody else did. And, you know, as much of a Pokemon fan as I am, I can't ignore the fact that, yeah, the newest game was completely unpolished fucking rushed game.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I can't deny that. But I'm still going to play it because I still see the little enjoyment that there was in that game to see it.
I think we had, when the game came out, we had this discussion. And I remember I was like, do you not... I don't want to buy those games. I don't want to be like, hey, let me support this practice of you rushing out shit.
Right.
Yeah.
And making it seem like it's okay. Because I just don't want to buy games that I know are going to be like that I know that are rushed. Because you're kind of like supporting that almost. And obviously, if that's not how you view it, that's not how you view it. And that's totally fine. That's not me being like, you should feel this way. It's like, for me, just personally, I don't want to be like, hey, keep making games this way. I'm like, no, just... take your time.
Yeah.
Make a good game.
No, I totally get that mentality as well. But unfortunately, with Pokemon fans, that didn't stop Violet.
No, it absolutely doesn't stop.
Like, Violet and Skull is still the most sold Pokemon game ever.
Yeah. Right, and I think that's more of a testament to the Switch being in more hands than ever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, the amount of Switches sold is insane.
It's like almost the most sold console after the PS2, right? I'm pretty sure. It's up there.
It's a lot. I still think
it's not that much yet because I think the DS still.
If you add up all the DSs, it's ridiculous.
Yeah. But it's still a fuck ton of consoles, especially in this modern day where a lot of the times it doesn't really matter what console you play because most games are available on most consoles now anyway, especially if you have a PC.
I love PC gaming the most by far still.
Yeah.
It's just so easy. It's so easy to PC game. I love it. I mean, I guess if you have a good PC.
Yeah, that's the hurdle, isn't it?
Yeah.
But like, once you have a good PC, like, just like, I also don't give a fuck about building your own. Some people are like, you have to build your own PC. I'm like, no, don't fucking do that. It's a pain in the ass. But just buy one. Yeah, you pay a little bit extra in the parts, but that's how everything, when you fucking assemble it, costs by a professional. Like, obviously you have to pay extra.
Yeah.
And it takes a lot of the stress out of PC gaming, because once you have it, it's just a PC. We all know how to use a PC. People act like installing games is hard. Come off it. Steam is so goddamn easy.
Yeah.
I have way less stress buying games on Steam than I do on the Nintendo eShop. That shit is like 9 layers of security. I got to enter my PayPal. Do you know how horrible it is to type on the Nintendo Switch as like a console? You're like,
wait, you have to put your information in every time?
Yeah, my PayPal, it makes me put it in every time.
I just attach my credit card and it's
Nintendo
like
fan.
just as fast.
They're like, he gets the pass. He gets the pass.
I get the pass, bro. It literally.
But like, it's still like Steam
I bought Tears of the Kingdom in like 10 seconds.
But like, Steam is just so easy. It's so great. I love it so much. And then I love that I can tweak the settings. Like if there's motion blur in the game, like off with that right now.
Right.
Take that off. I can change the frame rate if I want. I'm like, this is just great. Like having this customization is fantastic.
Yeah.
And like, even though I got a Steam Deck recently, which I like, and I just wish every Nintendo game I could play on that, because it's so much better.
Yeah.
It's so nice.
Yeah, for me, I would say that now I just want a good game, because I barely have time to play games as it is. I wouldn't say I'm a Nintendo fan, because I definitely
a game fan.
I'm just a game fan. I would say I grew out of Nintendo, actually.
In saying that though, you should play Tears of the Kingdom.
No, I will play Tears of the Kingdom, because like here's the thing. I don't care if it's made by Nintendo or not. I just care if it's a good game. So the last games I've played from Nintendo have, been Mario
Odyssey.
Yeah,
which is a great game.
Completed that.
Yeah.
Not Tears of the Kingdom, the Breath of the Wild, completed that. And I know the only reason I haven't started Tears of the Kingdom is because I'm currently trying to touch grass. And
when's he going to start Elden Ring though, huh? When are you doing Elden Ring?
I'll do it after I finish Tears of the Kingdom.
No, you're not. I'm not trying to get you, Jerry. I know you're not going to play it.
I don't know. Sometimes sometimes I don't know. Sometimes it's just a vibe of something. I like the vibe of the whole Zelda aesthetic and Breath of the Wild
fucking Genshin.
aesthetic. Yeah, but
every masterpiece has its cheap copy.
You mean Genshin 2, right?
Yeah, Genshin 2.
Genshin was just fucking like exactly like Breath of the Wild. What do you mean?
Exactly.
They just took like so many aspects of it. No wonder you like it.
I don't know. The one reason I've never completed like a Soulsborne game is that I just don't really like the.
Oh, so your reasons have changed in the past months, huh?
Huh?
Your reasons have changed. You went from, I'm definitely going to play Elden Ring, I just got to wait. And now you're like, it doesn't gel with me anymore. I'm like, what happened, God?
No, I am going to play it because...
Oh, okay.
Like...
He lied as easily as
I don't
breathed.
really like the whole dark fantasy setting. And... Yeah, I did. Dark fantasy is just not for me.
Wait, you like Berserk?
That's the thing. The only time I really get into a dark fantasy show or story or game is when it's actually really fucking good. So the product...
Is Elden Ring not good?
Hold on.
No. So the product has to be good enough to make me to get over that hump that it is a dark fantasy setting.
Right.
So I know Elden Ring fits in that category, which is why I know I'm going to play it. It just takes that extra bit of push to be like, oh, you should get into this game, because I don't really like dark fantasy stuff. I'm more like a sci-fi kind of like person. Or
what if you streamed it? Because then it'll give you the push that you're making content and you're finally playing that game you wanted to play.
Do I want to do that though?
Do you want to go? You could go the Didus route and stream it for 15 hours. Make content out of it.
Like Honkai and Genshin, I'll just turn your brain off and kind of do whatever. I would have to like actually be a gamer if I did Elden Ring, And I don't know if I'm prepared for that. I don't know if I'm prepared for that, guys.
I forgot. He's a Hoyoverse fan. I forgot.
True.
I'm a Hoyoverse streamer. There is a difference.
Man, they sponsored you, and then they made such a good investment. They locked you in for life. Just a few lump sum payments.
That's how they get you, man.
They got him on lock.
Yeah.